And then bada boom, bada bang, they fall in love. It's so sweet. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Zinhle, and this is my yearly wrap up. I read over 105 books this year, and a lot of them were 5 stars. I'm only going to be mentioning the 5-star reads so that this video is not too long. Starting off with January, it was the Dark Heart series by Jagger Cole. This was amazing. This is Mafia at its finest. It's all enemies to lovers, arranged marriage, age gaps, grumpy sunshine, just a little bit of everything in each book. First one is Deviant Hearts. It is an arranged marriage between the Greek and the Irish mafia. They hate each other, but of course, when they get married, he is so possessive and he's big on the whole my wife thing. And there's a subplot going on in this book, so there's like a mystery element to it as well. Book two is Vicious Hearts. This is an age gap, enemies to lovers. She is sent to unalive the head of the Irish mafia and she almost succeeds, but he survives. And he starts obsessing over her. Who is this girl who wants to unalive me? Book three is Sinful Hearts. She is the family lawyer for his family, and her father is trying to marry her off to the Russian mafia. She doesn't want that. So she decides to lose her innocence with him while she's wearing a disguise. But then he finds out that it's her and starts to obsess over her. Book four has to be my favorite, and that is Twisted Hearts. He is the Russian mafia, and we hated him in the first book, but then his book was so good. She is one of the sisters of the head of the Greek mafia. So the Greek and the Russian, they hate each other. And she breaks into his office to steal something, sort of as like a university initiation type of thing. And she breaks something very valuable. Now she can't afford to pay it back, and she can't ask her brother for the money. So what does she have to do? Work in his office, cleaning it in her underwear. This one was so good, only to find out that he actually kind of has like an obsession over her. I also read North and Fall of the Stars by Monica James. I still don't have physical copies of this book, and I don't know why. It is so good. It's Viking and Princess. We meet her when she's young. He is captured by her father, who's a cruel king, and she ends up being able to save the Viking. And as time goes on, she thinks that the Viking is going to like fall in love with her and save her from this arranged marriage that she has to do eventually, but he doesn't. The Viking does have his own agenda going on. He's there undercover, he's looking for something, but also he is falling in love with her. She does end up getting married off, and that is when the book really starts to pick up. It is dark. Please check trigger warnings for this one. Yo, my girl goes through it, but you know what? The character developments in this book for me was so amazing. Like I need to reread this duet actually. It is so good, so underrated. I think more people should read it, but it is very dark and graphic. So if essay and heavy mentions of rape and everything like that is not your cup of tea, I would not suggest this book. Reread Hamartia by Scarlet Drake. This is an K-pop idol and rock star romance. The rock star is engaged to a woman, and he ends up having an obsession over this male K-pop idol, and he sort of like obsesses over him on social media up until they bump into each other and an affair begins. So romantic, so sweet. I love this book. The special edition is coming out soon, so please check it out. Follow the author on Instagram. I just this is a 10-star read. I love it. I'll read it in 2025 as well. Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. My heart. This follows Oliver and Sydney. They're best friends, and Oliver gets kidnapped when he's a child, around like 9, I want to say. And he comes back, sorry, when he's 30. So everyone's trying to figure out why was he kidnapped, who kidnapped him. There's like this mystery element to it as to why he was kidnapped. It's not clear because nothing bad happened to him while he was there, and the man who held him captive kept saying that the world was ending and that it's in ruins and he can't go out. So he's been living underground in a bunker all this time. And so we see him trying to play catch up with life and fall in love, and sweet Oliver, love it so much. Now we're up to Feb, and for this month I read the rest of the Berkeley Bread series by Gray Huffington. This is a black romance, rich men, unhinged, possessive. I love it so much. I really enjoyed Makai and Mercer. I hope I'm saying those right. Makai is unhinged, possessive. PP's first ask questions later type of guy. He's rude, but you know what? He's all for his girl. And Mercer, he just got out of prison and he's going to collect money that he had hidden. Turns out it's in her house, and this is how the two end up bonding. She is in a bad marriage, not bad as in like, you know, but there's like neglect, and her and her husband don't get along. So she finds this man very interesting. I really enjoyed those two. Please check out Grey Huffington, guys. She's so good. And then I did Lilac by BB Reed. This is a right choose rockstar romance. It's enemies to lovers. They hate her and they don't want to be in the band anymore. So having to go on tour with this girl that they don't even like and don't want to be in the band is really frustrating for them. They try to like bully her out of it, but they end up falling for her and sort of almost fighting over her, but then it's a right choose. She doesn't have to choose. And then I did Archer's Voice. I think if you need like a palate cleanser, I highly recommend Archer's Voice. He is mute, and this new girl moves into town. I forgot her name. I'm sorry, and she seems to know sign language. She's the only one in town who seems to care about Archer and is like interested in talking to him, and they sort of like have those little moments, and we see him experience like his first so cute and they experience their first kiss, first just heart flutters. I think that might be my book of the year. I'm still unsure because picking a book of the year is so hard. Demon's Dream by Al Kaysen. This book was so good. This man is crazy. Her brother finds himself in a situation where he's going to be unalived, and the only way that they can fix it is if she enters a contract relationship with a man named Demon. That doesn't tell you how unhinged this man is. I don't know what will. She meets him literally like splattered in red. Like he just got finished dealing with someone and he's being told this is gonna be your girl for 30 days, do as you please, and he does as he pleases. She tries to rush the like 30 days and he's like, no, slow down. 30 days hasn't even started. You slow down. Mafia, because it's like rich families who are in the mafia, but they don't really call themselves mafia families. And also, the book also follows like her sister's relationship with, what's his name? I'll put it on the screen. I'm forgetting everyone's names, but that relationship too is just so spicy, so good. Like these men, and there's a lot of action scenes. It's such a good book. It's such a good book. It deserves more hype. Just wow. In March, I finally did the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. I did sort of read it in March, April, but mostly in March. It is so good. I highly recommend. Four men who each have their own book and their respective girls, and all of them are enemies to lovers. The main focus I would say about this book though is a man named Damon Torrance. I feel like the entire series is about him, even though everyone has their own books. It's like Devil's Night, like Halloween. They go out and cause destruction with one of the girls named Rika, and then as the night ends, everything seems fine. But then the boys get arrested for like different things, and they blame Rika. So when they get out of prison, they go to deal with Rika. And so the first book is Michael and Rika's book, and da 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 things happen. I don't want to spoil it. And then second book is Kai and Banks. Banks is, ooh, I can't say who Banks is. It's like a spoiler, but everything is connected to statements. I feel like it's all centered around him. It's a really good series. I did it on audio and it was really good. In March, I also did Double Edged by Nyla K. This is Twins and Stepfather. I just listened to the audio not last, like 2 days ago. It's half off on the author's website, so check it out. I think it ends January 1st. And it's just oof, it's so forbidden, it's so good. These twins, one of them is like the bad twin and the good twin, and they sort of like and then they have a stepdad at some point, and the stepdad, he has a sort of hero complex. He finds the twins with their mother when they are struggling in life and he wants to like save them, but then the bad twin is hell-bent on showing that the stepdad is like a bad guy or whatever. So things happen and it happens and it happens. It's really good. I enjoyed it. In April, I did The Losers Duet and the Day by Holly LaRue. This is Why Choose. It is so good. Basically, she used to be like Miss Popular in high school, and four guys used to be like the losers. And she used to like bully them all the time, her and her friends. And then when they get older, she bumps into one of them again, and on a game of cups, uh, he dares her to basically be his servant for like the rest of the night, and she does it. And her friend is like, "Friend, why are you doing this? Just leave it." But she actually enjoys this type of thing, and that's when Manson is able to realize that okay, something's going on here with this girl. She's a little feisty, and so eventually Tim and the three other guys, and it's so good. And the special edition is coming out from Mystic Box, I believe. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I don't have the money, but it's on the 27th. It goes live on the 27th of December. And lastly, it is The Fisherman and also The Caretaker by C.P. Harris. This is MM. These are part of a series. The first one is The Good Liar. That was 4 stars. But The Fisherman was 5 stars. It is best friend's dad, age gap, second chance, and it is filthy. It is filthy. It is filthy. Okay. And then the third book is The Caretaker. This has the amnesia trope. MMC, he is traveling, he's looking for something, and his wife just unalived, and he's trying to figure out what happened and why does he feel like this place he's never been to before feels so familiar to him. And then he sees a person that he's never met, but this person feels right, and he's trying to figure that out, and it's so sweet and so romantic. Please read this. You can also read The Good Liar. It was good. I just didn't care for it as much as I did these other two. Ah, May was so good. So I did King of Sloth, which I really enjoyed, especially since I wasn't enjoying the previous books in the series. I enjoyed King of Wrath, not so much Greed and Pride, but then Sloth really picked it up. It is enemies to lovers. She's the grumpy, he's the sunshine, and it's just so good. Please read it. And then I also did Love Unexpected by Kibi Tyler. This is a stepdad forbidden romance. Her mom is unalived, and the two like basically trauma bond, and but she's always had a crush on her dad, on her stepdad, when like she was like a little girl. And then finding out that her mom is marrying the dad, I was like, ah. So and then I did The Torment Duet by Dylan Page. This is this was so good. It was like watching a movie type of read. They are step siblings, and we follow the book through her eyes throughout the entire time, and she is the definition of naive. And there's just like a lot going on. She's not aware of the life that she's in, and only up until it's like really late that she realizes that she's trapped in this life, and her stepbrother is one who's trapping her. But guys, I don't want to spoil this book, and I feel like I should do a separate video on it, but you should totally check it out. And the last book for May was Trouble by Nyla K. This is an MM best friends to lovers to not lovers anymore, second chance. One of them is like known to be a man, you know, he's just there. But he's always had like this one love, which was his college best friend. And then the best friend, he is married to a woman, and is a priest, a pastor, um at a church. And so it's like forbidden, but that man is nasty. Okay, he's filthy. Okay, so for June, I did Red Flags and Tuesdays by Nordica Knight. It's so hard to say authors' names. This one was a Grumpy Sunshine, Poor Boy, Rich Boy, MM. So good. I like how one of the MMCs was like snarky and bit of like a brat, and his whole thing is, I want to go out, but I'm tired, so he doesn't, and I'm like that. So that's why I really like that MMC. Oleander or Orlando by Scarlett Drake. This is an enemies to lovers, Grumpy Sunshine, coming of age. So beautiful, so tragic. Literally, this book there were parts where the MMC is like, Jude, he's like, life is going fine. What could go wrong? Literally at the end of every chapter, he is like, da da da, what could go wrong? Oh, it's better now. And I'm like, stop saying that. Everything is good. You're gonna ruin it. Only for Tonight and One Is Never Enough by Callie Nori. This is also M's Mills under a different pen name. This was, oh my gosh, it's an MMMM. Um, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that one. And then I did The Sweetest Book Ever, and this is author's first book. Like, how is this your first book? You're My Home by Katie Moore. This book was so sweet. It is best friends to lovers. It's a slow burn. It's MM. One of them comes from like a bad home, the other comes from a loving home, and they become best friends, like in secret at first, and then eventually one ends up living with the other, and like people around them are trying to figure out what is this relationship between the two because they're close, but they're not like dating. And one of them is gay, and he's like the best friend that he can't have, and it's such a comfort read type of book. There are only two books in July, and that is Heated Rivalry. I'm gonna add Long Shot as well. No, the Long Game, sorry. I'm gonna add Long Game in this as well. I read it in when did I read Long Game? I read it late. I didn't know about it. I think in October. So I'm just gonna do the review for both now. The Blueprint of MM. The Blueprint. These two are rivals to lovers, but they aren't even really rivals as well because they enjoy playing against each other. They're ice hockey players, and the world sees them as enemies. They are rivals. They always like compete against each other for the same title, but behind closed doors, used to be okay. Behind closed doors, these two are together, and it's just so beautiful because it's a secret. About the entire book, the first book, the two are in a secret relationship, and then in book two, that's to sort of weigh on one of them, and they don't want it to be a secret anymore, and it's just so sweet. Ilya and why am I forgetting the other one's name? And it's so sweet, and it's so one of them is I love this book so much. I love this book so much. I did For the Love of Cain. This is an MMMM. It's he's in the mafia, the Russian mafia, and the other one is just a boy who's new in town, and he meets this guy, and they start a relationship, but there's something going on behind closed doors. There's a secret happening here, and yeah, it was really good. It was really spicy. I don't know what to say about it without like this is YouTube. Can't be saying stuff. In August, I did Sinister Legacy. This was our book club pick, and it was so good. I believe Michaela picked it. It is like Scream Queens meets Scream meets Pretty Little Liars. There's a lot going on. We follow like different characters, but our main goal, she has a lot going on in her life. Her dad used to be a serial, used to be, he still is a serial unaliver and he's in prison. And then the unalivings that he had done are being done again, a copycat unaliver. And we're trying to figure out who it is. And I thought I knew, but I didn't know. It's a great read. It's like watching a movie. It's really good. And then I also did um the Kidnapping and the Vengeance of Rowan Sinclair. This is between a Russian hitman and the son of a very wealthy bank. Sasha, he is a Russian hitman. He's sent to kidnap Rowan, and he like stalks him first, and this is when he starts to sort of have like feelings for him, and then he kidnaps him, holds him hostage, and when they call his dad to be like, we have your son, give us this, you can have him back, the dad is like, no, because Rowan's dad is like, Sasha's confused, like, why do you not want your son back? And so he still has to hold him hostage for a really long time, and this is when feelings start to develop between the two. Now the thing is, Sasha is Russian, and being in Russia is wrong. It's all else they're going to him. September, I did Love Me Whole. This book follows DID. Now, I'm familiar with DID because I used to watch this girl on YouTube who had DID, and I'd watch her like switch altars and stuff. And I was like, this is so interesting. So when I heard about this book and this character who has DID, I was like, let me check this out. It was so good. It was so spot on. Our MMC, he has DID obviously, and our other MMC is going back to college, and he wants a partner for a group project. And that's when he approaches this kid, and this kid is like shy and he's timid, but all of a sudden his personality changes and he's hostile. But then he's like, what's going on? So then he finds out that he has DID, and you sort of see him go through his alters and how he connects with each of them. I really like how they didn't force like a relationship between all the alters, because that's not practical, because these are like different people and you can't love them all, but he does end up building sort of like a relationship with each one of them in his own way. And then I did God of Fury. I really wanted to get into a Rena Kent book. I'm not the biggest Rena Kent fan. Cruel Prince, that's what I was to say. I tried Cruel Prince, it didn't work out. I tried Malice first, it didn't work out, so I thought let me just do an MM book because I'm an MM reader these days. So God of Fury, it won. Clearly, there's a copy right there. I have two copies. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Enemies to Lovers, Schmexual Awakening, Grumpy Sunshine, and it's just Nico is just so funny and just like a vibe. So okay, for October I did 3 out of the 4 books in the Alabaster Pen series by Nyla K. Wow. The first one is Distorted. Um, we follow a bank robber who gets caught and he's sent to Alabaster Pen. Now, Alabaster Pen is for the worst of the worst. Serial unalivers, rapists, anything bad you can think of, that is where you send them. And the public doesn't know about this place. It is like a secret, hidden government place, and everyone in the world thinks that all these men have been unalived, but really the government is keeping them there to sort of like experiment and do with them as they please. Now, our bank robber, he's like, why am I here? I'm not that bad. I'm just a bank robber. So we're trying to figure out why is he really there. We sort of follow things through his eyes, and he is a little all over the place, and he develops a relationship with a god, and this god is brutal. Okay, the whole thing is just, yo, it's a lot. There is a plot twist, so read it for the plot twist. It is crazy. I thought I knew, but it would, because people kept saying it's a plot twist. I'm like, what could it be? I did not guess it right. Joyless. So this one is between three gods. One of the gods I really wasn't a fan of in the first book, so I didn't think I was gonna like this one, but I really liked it. It is MFM. It's super dark and I think like sad as well. Sort of follow the gods trying to like make it in Alabaster Pen. So the thing is, the gods also are kind of there and they don't want to be, but they've done some things in life that has made them reach that point of being in the gods at that prison. And then book 3 has to be my favorite, and it's the reason why I haven't read book 4 yet, because I'm still stuck on book 3, Brainwashed. It follows a serial unaliver and his therapist. Talk about a combination. um we see Felix. He's the unaliver, also known as the Carver. he we follow him through his unalivings and why he does what he does, and his therapist trying to figure out, like, how his brain works, and they fall in love, and it's like it's the craziest thing ever. I did 2 books in November, and that is bless me, The Tragedy of Felix and Drake. This one was not 5 stars, so I'm not gonna mention it. Almost 5 stars. I just feel like it was missing things, so I'm gonna say, oh, Finding Delaware. This book is this author's first book, which I don't believe. It's so good. It is like Garen Park, if you've read it, by Nordica Knight. This one is enemies to lovers, they are rivals as well. They parents get married, and so they end up sort of living together. But there's like all of those animosity and tension between the two, and oh, it's like there's a lot of like tension between the two, and it was like really really good. I highly recommend it. And last but not least, December. My December reads were a bit meek. There's nothing that really was like capturing. December, I would say, was quick. There wasn't really anything that stood out to me, but I did read Toxic Love by Jagger Cole. This was a book club pick, and it of course it was good. It was great. Their enemies to lovers, marriage of convenience. There's a secret and subplot going on as per Jagger Cole. It was really good. And that's it, guys. Those are all the books that I read that were 5 stars. If you guys want to see like all the books I've read from January to December, you can check out my TikTok. Yeah. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.